get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to get lucky. The present has no ribbon. Your gift keeps on giving. What is this I'm feeling? If you wanna leave, I'm with it. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cups to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get. 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 We're up all night to get lucky. 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 what you really like. Baby, I can take my time. We don't ever have to fight. Just take it step by step. I can see it in your eyes, 'cause they never tell me lies. I can feel that body shake and the heat between your legs. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run, I know what you've been through. Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to rush when you're alone with me. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. You are not the single type, so maybe this the perfect time. I'm just trying to get you high, faded off this touch. You don't need a lonely night, so baby I can make it right. You just gotta let me try to give you what you want. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run, I know what you've been through. Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to rush when you're alone with me. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. You've been scared of love and what it did to you. You don't have to run, I know what you've been through. Just a simple touch and it can set you free. We don't have to rush when you're alone with me. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I know what you feel like feeling. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming, I feel it coming, babe. I know what you feel right feeling. I feel it coming, babe. I feel it coming,
Sorry, I didn't see. I can't see. I really can't see the chats really. That's fault. Log in 4 boxes. Played some Xbox for you. Hope you're doing good. Good stuff. Nope.
Lose yourself to dance. Lose yourself to dance. Lose yourself to dance. Lose yourself to dance. Lose yourself to dance.
Oh, they sold my plats earlier. That was nice. Starting these boxes or something like
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just.
trying to grind it out. Hopefully it's not too bad of a struggle for you. 8 hours left on mine. Not like it matters, I won't win. But I'll try. Yeah, it can be rough. I'm glad it's 15 hours. 20 hours sometimes is rough. They had a 30 hour, a 40 hour one here. Yeah, 3. I think it's 40 hours. Bed, but boxes. Get something nice, help you finish it through. Nice.
Understanding has brought us through stormy weather. I must admit, girl, I haven't always been good, but you stuck by me just like you said you would. I hurt you, baby, I'll make it up to you. I can't say I haven't done any wrong. Let him without sin cast the first stone. Hey, I know that enough is enough, but you shouldn't be talking about giving it up. Turning loose might be right, it seems. The wrong decision will spoil all our dreams. If you don't want to spoil our secret dreams, don't change horses in the middle of a stream.
7.
Giddy up, giddy up, hi oh yeah. Giddy up, hi oh silver. Change horses in the middle of a stream.
Long.
Giddy up, hi oh yeah. Giddy up, hi oh silver. Don't change horses in the middle of a stream, baby. Don't change horses in the middle of a stream now. It might spoil our secret dreams, child. It might spoil our secret dreams, baby. Right, 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 right. Oh, girl. Hey, 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 hey. Right, 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 right. Oh, girl. shining star. No matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be, what you can truly be. Shining star come into view, shining sparkle light on you. Yeah, give your strength to carry on. Yeah, yeah, make your body big and strong. Yeah, all control of the sun. Yeah, yeah, so my work had just begun. Yeah, cause it's still long. Yeah, that's it now. I got my own. Oh yeah, so if you find yourself in need, why don't you listen to his words of heat? Be a giant greater sin. Words of wisdom, yes I can. You're a shining star. No matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. You're a shining star. No matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. You're a shining star. No matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be. Shining star for you to see what your life can truly be.
Everyone's feeling pretty. It's absurd than delight. Though the world's full of problems, they couldn't touch us even if they tried. From the park I hear rhythms. Molly's heart on the boss. Tonight there will be a party on the corner at the end of the block. Didn't know you. We'll be coming until the break of dawn. Till nobody ever told you that you. We'll be coming until the break of dawn. We'll be coming and coming and coming down. They want us to join the fighting, but our answer today is to let all our worries, like a breeze through our fingers, slip away. Peace has come to Zimbabwe. First was right on the one. Now's the time for celebration, 'cause we all need just begun. Didn't know you. We'll be coming until the break of dawn. Ain't nobody ever told you that you. We'll be coming until the break of dawn. Ain't nobody ever told you that you. We'll be coming until the break of dawn. I know nobody told you that you. We'll be coming until the break of
Going
dawn.
after this. Tired.
We're coming, 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 coming.
Tired. This is a good run. Those boxes. feeling.
I'm mad. Got to get back. I need some get back. Payback. Payback. That's it. Payback. Again. I'm mad. To get down with my girlfriend. That ain't right. Wow. Smoking. Hollering cuss. You want a bank. Payback is a thing you got to see. Hell, never do any damn thing to me. Sold me out for chicken change. Told me they had it all arranged. They had me down. That's the bank. And now you're pumped. You gotta get ready for the big payback. That's where I land. Oh, for the big payback. I can do wheeling. I can do dealing. But I don't do no damn squealing. I can dig rapping. I'm ready. I can dig scrapping. But I can't
nice armor. I like that armor a lot. I used it last Mayhem I did. So I used to try to beat those guys. It wasn't quite enough for me. It was really good armor. I'd consider using it if I didn't need that reload. Or if I needed that reload. Congratulations. Hope it's the right gender. Usually how it goes for me. Get female stuff. Get those mates. Female avatars, they always get male stuff. Yeah, it was pricey. At least it lasts a while. I think I did 30 hours in it and it's still got quite a bit of TT in it. I think I might be able to run it. Maybe 10 hours. 10 hours more. One piece off of Curve so far. Is that what you're... Oh, you're still doing the kid. I haven't gotten many on that ESI was the first playthrough.
Hard to understand what a hell of a man. This cat of the slum had a man, wasn't dumb. But a weakness was shown, cause his hustle was wrong. His mind was his own, but the man lived alone. Ooh, super fat. You're gonna make
the last one, I was dead tired. I thought, I'll try one more.
If you lose, don't ask no questions why. The only game you know is do or die. The game he plays for keys. Hustling times in ghetto streets, trying to get over. That's what they're trying to do, y'all.
The deal was earlier, but I could not. Website wasn't working.
Super flat.
I think I ended up for something else. Maybe that's better? Sorry about that. I don't know how I'm going to figure out that mix. Hopefully that's better. Maybe like that? Something like that? Might have been when I went to Battlefield that it all screwed up. Get it figured out one of these days. Awesome. Which cat are you doing right now? There's 1,100 just in 4. Bastard. Unless that was you, then that'd be awesome. Nice. Hopefully it's not too bad in there. Maybe 4 just got off us. It's little ones that are winning. Sold my plats earlier. Very happy about that. Puts me up. Kind of a crappy damn loot. Down a little bit on head, but that put me back up and over. That. Now we just need to hit some 5 digits like some of the other people. Good that the armor's dropping though. The first piece I got was yesterday. I haven't seen any Mind Force chips, so maybe they're coming out in another week or something. That's how they're doing it. odd rip M60. M6600. Where the heck do you find that off of? Stoco did as well. Where are they finding all those modified rip M6? Well, that's all-time high. I was gonna say, what the fuck? What the heck is going on here? Rain, claw. I don't see any of those new chips they're supposed to be dropping. Last man, what you up to? Thank you, sir. Hope you're doing good today. You're a cheering fool, but I do appreciate it. Hope you're getting the good loot. Not too great today. I was a little down on just the normal stuff, but once I sold my plats, I'm back up again. Just farming more boxes. That'll be all profit. How about you? Hopefully you got one of those big hoffs or some item. I think I had I had one 600 pet Hoff earlier, but the rest of the run was kind of crappy, so it was like an even run anyway, even with the Hoff. But it was nice to see. Aw, that sucks. Yeah, they're kind of low a little bit today, I noticed. For me too. I've gotten a couple in this last hour, but earlier it was just horrible. We did a team hunt on some curbs and did nothing. Do too good enough. Hope that changes up. Hopefully the next few hours you get some globals to make up for it. What are you doing? I know one of my Socialmates on Arc is struggling really bad. You know, on Arc I was struggling pretty bad, so I had to move to Entropia, and Entropia was pretty good. I'm surprised. Came back here and it's just kind of been blah. The only thing that's saving me is these platinums and boxes. Yeah, I'm surprised there isn't actually. Really should be doing more of that. Try to get more people in. Yeah, I agree with you. I wish so too. More options is good. If anything, though, give yourself a little bit of time, and you won't need the lower levels. By the next Mayhem, probably be overskilled for whatever cat you're in, and move up. It depends. I bought skills mostly only for unlocks. If I was really getting close to an unlock and I didn't want to... Because the unlocks, you get a nice little boost for a little while once you unlock it, while your skills kind of climb for a good chunk. But it kind of depends on what you want to do. If you're looking for a particular gun, then skills, you know, buying skills might be the only way to do it. Sometimes it's cheaper just to buy the skills than it is to try to cycle it all out. Certainly cheaper in time. I'm not sure at your level you really need to. Not that low. Because the one thing that chipping might do to you at that low is it would, you know, there's so many. I think there's, you know, there's so many skills per profession. You chip in one skill and it throws everything off, kind of. You might have like a really super high hit, a really low damage, you know, or something, you know, something like that. So that's the only thing I don't like about chipping early is it upsets the balance of a lot of the professions. And then you have SIB where, you know, the hit is good, but the damage isn't good for a very long time, and it's just frustrating. So I don't know if I would recommend that, to be honest. Oh, my pills are dead anyway. My pills are dead, and I'm dead tired. I don't remember how long it took me to do my punies. I think maybe I did the punies for like a straight month, something like that. Couple weeks. I know I got most of my like power fist and whip and explosives. Maybe not whip. Power fist and blades. BLP and laser. I got those all up to like 10 or 12 before I moved on to the rest of the game, I think. Just because at level 10 they just stopped giving skill. So good. At least that's what I noticed anyway. Level 10, and once the profession got level 10, it just didn't want to move. Not nearly as much as it did. Oh man. Went a little too far doing this last hunt, but I'm glad I did because it's nice in the boxes. Nice. The Arcadia's got some nice mobs for the lower levels. And good skills. Yeah, and that's the other thing you kind of gotta keep in the back of your mind. You know, that's the other thing when I decayed a lot. I got a lot more skills per hour, and you kind of have to figure out that some of that ped in the formula is going into your skills anyway for your return. Mind Art considers them of value, and I think that they actually count for that. Because I do know that like skill chips and things like that from missions, there's something I read that they come out of CLD income. So there's something to that where they actually have to assign a value to the skill itself. I just hit 107, I think. Just crazy. Just doesn't stop. $520,000 skills. $312 hit points. Such a different world when I was doing punies. It's a little bit to get up there, but man, once you can play the game and at least variety, even mid-level game. Once you get to mid-level content, you get a huge variety of just stuff to do. Yeah, I'm not gonna make it. I think I'm gonna have to fall asleep. Farm some more tomorrow. Oh yeah, a bit more than that. More than that. I did my items just on a thread the other day, and it's like $30,000 and 300,000 ped. And just items I've accumulated. That's not my blueprints. I spent a lot on my blueprints. And the skills, yeah. I don't even know. Because, like, what's weird is, I don't know if you can go to the auction and see how much, like, a chip that's 14 ped. It'll give you something like a couple thousand points of skills. Whereas somebody like me, where I'm already up here, a lot of people don't really get it as much. That once you get the skills, like if I have 13,000 skills, if you were to use that same chip and I chip out all the, if I make it full, it only costs me 11 points. But for you, it's like 2,000 or 3,000, something like that. Yeah, armor guns, FAPS, Mine Force, mining stuff, just all kinds of junk. It would take me forever to sell. I know that. The rings. Those rings are pretty expensive. Yeah, that's kind of the back of my mind. This whole game has been. Originally, I couldn't afford the house until I actually played the game. But I thought maybe I could try to build something for my kids. So I've kind of been planning that if I build enough, that maybe I could pay for the college with it. I don't know if I'll need to now though, because I got the condo. I could just sell that, keep my game. I got the mining ring. Sweet. Awesome for mining. And I just bought this one not too long ago, the Halloween 2018. And then I have the Easter ring. So it's got auto loot, and then I've got 2% on each of those. We got the 1% crit scope. 5%. Got crit armor that gives me 5% if I'm using other things. So I'm totally maxed out. Finally. After 15 years, 10 years. It's absolutely crazy how much it adds up to. Because I don't make a whole lot of money. You know, it's not like I have tons of money. In fact, I make less than most people. But little bits at a time and working the markups. No, I don't rent them. I tend not to borrow or rent. Borrow or lend. Just because I've been burned before. And, you know, I don't want to have to forget that I lent somebody or pester them or track them down, you know, all that crap. It kind of sucks in this game. If they came up with a mechanic, it would be cool, but they don't have anything. It makes it really easy. Right now, my social leader's got some support cases because he's got, I think, 5 people that he lent all kinds of pretty good gear to. And they haven't logged in. They're about to lose their account with his stuff on it. And that's what I don't want happening. Because that's some old gear that he's got that he's about to lose. And they won't do anything about it. So he's gonna be out that stuff unless those people log in. And it doesn't look like it because it's been a while. I probably should. I'd make some more pet on the side, but really don't need to. Markups with crafting and hunting keep me off. I think I'm done. Yeah, in a way, but then you have to track down the deposit, and then sometimes I've done deposits with really nice items, and sometimes they just decide to keep it. Like they paid for it. According to Mindark, all trades are final, so it doesn't matter what you have written down as an agreement. Doesn't matter. Could just disappear, and those rings especially, you know, they're pretty rare. People want them. So it'd be kind of easy for somebody if they just wanted to give up a bunch of stuff, or maybe they didn't want that gun anymore and they're like, yeah, I'll give you this super awesome gun that I don't really care about, so I can get the one ring I care about, and then they forget to contact you again. Something, you know, it could happen. I get paranoid. Mostly because I got burned. Bastards. But you learn early. You learn hard sometimes. Got 4th place, huh? That's good. So you get some tokens. Those pills are actually worth a lot of money if you use those tokens to cash out those stims. I think they're like 6 or 7 pet a piece. They're only like 10 M tokens a piece. But you might be able to make some really good money with tokens, hopefully. I know last year I was in that position. In Cat 9 I was just right there. 4th place. I just could not do anything more. I put all the pills into it. Had all the buffs that I could possibly do. The best armor I had. It wasn't going to beat. Oh, everything. I have 1,700 different things I can make. It's 1,700. Oh, to match people on score. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's where I started, is crafting. That's where a lot of this accumulation came from, is all my making amps and armor plates and all kinds of stuff over the years. But actually, if you... Here, I'll show you real quick before I go to bed here. If you go there... Let's see if I can get it first. Show you how it's supposed to work anyway. Alright. So that's my website. Over here in the Forgo stuff area. Down here, over here, I've got Forgo's items and then Forgo's blueprints. Oh, I'm sorry, I have 1,999 different blueprints. That's not counting spares. And then you could search, like, if you're looking for armor plates, those are different blueprints. If you're looking for pulsar plates, if you're looking for Terra amps, level whatever amps, looking for AR matrix, you can see what I can craft. Show you how many clicks I got. So, if you want to know what I craft or what I have, you could also go to my items. Shows you I have 4,000 items, or 3,400 items. This, the blueprints are separate. I pull all those out of the... If you need items, you know, I've got all kinds of... If you're looking for Zulax, or if you're looking for, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. I have stuff all over the place. Got oils on Tulan, I've got oils on Calypso, I've got oils on Arcadia, got oils on Entropia, I've got oils on Serene. Yeah, I think I actually did. It might actually be to 2,000 now. Might be at 2,000 now. I think I did buy one the other day from Entropia. Uh-oh, did I miss stuff? There was some cool blueprints I wanted. Wait, did I not? Am I doing this right? I'm just way too tired. Oh yeah, they ended. Bummer. Couldn't craft them anyway, but I wanted to fill my book. Haven't seen those ever listed. Yeah, I'd suggest a warp ship if you do that. Because you'd lose one of those runs to a pirate and you're out. All your profits are gone. But with a warp ship, stockpile however many ped you want, 10,000 ped of oil. Buy 10,000 ped of oil, take a warp ship back to Cali and unload it. It's what most people do. The only reason I keep oils on other planets is because I craft. If I need to make people stuff. If I need to make something for me, you know. Anyway, that's the website. If you need something or if you're looking for something, maybe I could craft it or maybe I have it. Cyrene, yeah, I don't know. Oils don't have enough markup anywhere, I don't think. I mean, you really have to move a lot of oil to make it worth it for that kind of thing. I'm not sure if there's enough markup to make it worth it. Unless you had a really massive bankroll and then you could do it. What would be better is to put an oil order up on Cali for like 101 or 100. If you're selling them at 103, you can even put it up at 102. If you do, I don't know if you've ever messed with orders. A lot of people don't realize them. The power of them. I used to do this all the time. But if you go in here and you can order like resources or your oils. So like these people are ordering oils, so they're ordering oil at 113%. So they make an order for the oil at 113%. But the thing about orders that people don't realize is that, let's say somebody has only 20 oils and they put them up. Well, a lot of times the auction will round it down to where it's only 108 for those 20 oils. So you only pay 108. You don't pay the 113 every single time. So usually when you put an order in, you're paying a lot less. Even at 102, a lot of times you get orders for 100.8, you know, or 101.2, you know, and then because of the way that the auction system rounds up, and when people just want to sell it and get rid of it, that's the easy way to do it. You go to orders and you say, okay, I've got a ton of muscle oil. I could sell it right now for 101 and just walk away, not have to worry about messing with it. Or adrenal oil. I could sell it for 102.74 right now. And it's done. It automatically buys it. Or if you're the buyer, you know, I throw a bunch of, like, let's say I'll show you exactly how that will work actually. I'll try a couple different ones here. Alright, so we look at our orders. We say we look for oils. So we've got a guy here with 102.74 on adrenal oil. So let's say, okay, I want to sell that for 102.7. Well, this is too much anyway. So it wouldn't buy it. I would be stuck selling it at 100. But I'm sure that there's a number. Maybe that's a wrong one to use. Let me see if this one. Nobody wants thyroid. Let me grab thyroid for it. Let me grab something I have more of. There you go. People are buying. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about how easy it is to buy. You know, you just set the order for a week. Man, nobody's buying that crap either, huh? Buying muscle oil. Okay, we could do it with muscle oil, I guess. I don't have a ton of it, but at least I'll show you kind of how it works. I hope. So this guy's buying at 101.63, but if I sell this stack here at 102 or 99.5, so that would be the only way I could actually sell it to that guy if I went down to there. But if I probably, I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough big enough stack, but you can kind of see how it's not going to let you. It's not going to let you sell it. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm getting tired, but if you put a big enough stack on there, most of the time it's not going to be right at 101.63, and you have to go under that price if you want to sell it right away. So you have to go to like 101, 100.5, because that's how it rounded off. This is too small to see with these stacks. But if you have huge, massive stacks of like 10,000 muscle oil, and you throw it on here for 19 or something, or 115, then you could sell it, and you sold it at 101.5. And then they get the cash back. If you have the order, you get cash back for any difference. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about it. But it's pretty powerful. It's not as powerful as it used to be, but it, like for residues and stuff, when it was at 112, you could buy residues at 106, and there's a lot of impatient people in this game. That's just one of the things about the game. People don't want to mess with it, so they sell it cheap just to get rid of it rather than TT. They take their couple ped, But there's a lot of people that just don't care, so they use the orders. They sell off whatever they're doing. There's a lot of people, if you have stuff, like let's say you have a lot of Lazars hanging around. It's a really nice markup for them. So it's pretty handy. Come in here and see the different. You're usually getting kind of ripped off a little bit on some of the prices, but some things where people really need them, like tier comps, they'll pay that high price because they need that big stack and nobody's got them, so they put an order up for a couple days. Hope it fills. But that's a nice 380% for tier 7 right away. Check this every once in a while for different loot that you have. If you have tier comps, some fire rate components, 220% for those. Focus lens, 211. It's really not bad. And if you're a crafter, it saves you time because you don't have to sit there and search the auction all the time and look at it. Look for crap. Wait for somebody to post it up. That way you can just go to sleep. Hopefully you wake up in the morning and you have a bunch of oils. Yeah, I don't. It's hard to keep track because it always moves. Some things are always. The prices always change a little bit, But sometimes mining stuff, you know, you can mess around with looking at mining resources and see what the different markups are. As long as you're under anybody here, you'll be the guy that gets sold. So as long as you don't go to 171% on an order, because that just does nothing for you. The guy with 170 is going to sell it. So you want to be the lowest. Otherwise, they sell it. But you also have to watch out too, because there's like a guy here, he has only 10. Not very many people are going to sell 10, especially with 108. Might not even work out. I don't think anybody could actually fill that order if they wanted to without going under 100%, actually. So some of them you kind of have to watch out for. If they're, you know, really small order, you don't need to go under them because they're not going to get filled anyway. So then maybe you could go a little higher on the percent. So it's kind of like a game playing with the auction, but at least gives you an idea of, you know, research it. Say I've got 500 ped. When you see something that you want, you just go into the orders. And let's say you go. Let's say you want to buy a bunch of pyrite. You go into available. Or let's say you want to buy a bunch of alpharics. You just go into order. You say I want to pay 110%, which is probably too much. You can check it here. Yeah, 102. So you can say, okay, I'll pay 102%. Or 101% for 100 of them, and it's 1 ped per day. So if you wanted to do 7 days, it costs 7 ped. It's usually worth it to just do 1 day, because even if you wanted to cancel your order, then you get it back. So you get back all your funds minus that 1 ped, rather than minus the 7 ped or whatever. But yeah, that's how you would place the order. That would only need 287 if you wanted to start buying alpharics and moving that. Not that there's much markup in it, you know, that's not a good example at all. But there's some other ones that might have some markup that there's no orders. 106, there's like Igni, I think, usually sometimes. Bismuth on Arc. That's kind of a good one because you can buy it cheap. And nobody's got an order. So you can put like a bismuth order for, what was it, 290%. So you can put it up for 230. Of course, you're not buying a whole lot with 500 ped, you know. But you can mess with it. You can say, okay, I can buy 75. And then you'd be looking at, that would cost you 591 plus your dollar. So if you sold it back at your 290%, you're at 619. So you could make 100. You could make 100 ped off of that if you flipped it around like that. And sometimes people just want to be impatient. Sometimes they make a mistake and they sell it at 150. You know, and then you get your difference back, and then you get all that markup is all yours. So things like that are really good to do. Things with some markup that you can actually move with. If you go quite a bit lower, then even if somebody sells you a stack at lower cost, then you win anyway because you're already lower. You know. So something to think about. Yeah, the only thing about the other planets is most people don't bother with the auction. So those, I wouldn't recommend doing that because you just waste a ped on your order. Nobody looks at the orders there. They look at orders on Calypso and Arcadia, is what I noticed much. Sometimes on Rocktropia, but that one even, I don't know, the auctions there aren't as good as I'd like, for sure. They don't seem to do too well. But Arc and Calypso are probably the two places that kind of works. And you could tell, you could tell with the orders just by what's available. You've got a page and a half of stuff that people want on Arc. mostly crafters who need this stuff and they don't want to track down miners, you know. But you go to Entropia and there's no orders. You go to Tulan, there's no orders because nobody messes with it. Nobody looks. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to waste the ped on it. So you got to be a little careful where you do it too, because sometimes you can list it and it won't sell. So I don't want to give you, I don't want to say, yeah, go for this one thing and it's going to work, because it doesn't always work, you know, but sometimes it does and it's great. There are also some people that buy, I've fallen victim to these guys actually. The guys that buy deeds for, I do clips, so it's probably better. So if you look at some of these deeds usually go like 70 ped. Some of these guys put 7. And some people get tired and they sell them for 7 ped a piece. And these people walk away with some massive markup. So sometimes you can even do stuff like that, you know. And I've done it. I've sold a stack of 10 of them for 70 on accident, thinking it was, you know, just getting confused and get screwed, you know. And you're like, why did I do that? I just wasn't paying attention. And that guy's got all the markup. He's got 7 free or 10 free deeds or 9 free deeds. You know, so there's a lot of different things you could try on that. I don't know how successful it is. I know I've fallen into it. I know I've seen orders go down when people put them, because I pay attention to this. I used to pay attention to this stuff a lot. I've seen people make mistakes on orders too, where they put, instead of 102% buy-in residue, they buy it for 120, and then people are unloading every bit of residue they can on the auction because some dude made a mistake. You know, so you got to be really careful. And that dude ends up buying, you know. There was one time I saw that where a dude did that. He was 102% and he went up to 120. But he put a full order. It was like 10,000 ped. 20,000 ped maybe worth of stuff. That he ended up paying 18% more than what it was worth. Ouch. It was crazy how fast it filled. I was watching it. I don't think before the guy realized his mistake, damage was done. So definitely, you know, research. Make sure you're careful. Make sure you look at it and think. Make sure you can do it. But with orders, it's not too bad. If it's something you think you can really make something, it's only a ped lost. And if your order doesn't fill, you get all your ped back minus that 1 ped for the day. So I would recommend doing that much rather than trying to go like through space with loot where one run and you're dead. You got all your stuff that's gone. All your markup, all your profit. But orders are one way. A lot of people really don't know about that. A lot of people have forgotten about it too, because just, you know, people forget. But I use them a lot. I use them to sell ores if I need to just get money to cycle. Dump a bunch of stuff at a little bit of a discount, but not TT, you know. Or if I'm ordering, if you know, on Arc, a lot of times I'll order stuff if I need to make a run or something. Throw it up there. And a lot of people don't realize when you sell stuff on the auction, like and it sells right away, that's an order. Like if you sell it and all of a sudden it's like auto bot, you're like, that was quick. That's because somebody had an order up and you put it under the order. So you might have actually cheated yourself if it sells right away, because the price might have actually been higher than what you sold. Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things you could do in the game. I'd hate to tell you one way or the other which way to go. Because, you know, could fail. All kinds of ventures fail and some succeed. But I've seen some creative stuff like that, yeah. I've seen people getting together with miners and doing collectives where they take all the ores off the miners and work all the markups for the miners, and miners are willing to accept, you know, a loss of a few percent, that kind of thing. It's hard though, you know, it's a hard game. You gotta figure your angle out. But at least that's one angle you could look at. And I gotta get going. I'm tired. Yeah, Ark's a little tricky too, just because the economy there's a little bit crappy also. I mean, it's better than other things, but... Hey, what's up there, Deuce? Deuce X. Good morning. Good night. It's like 11:50 p.m. here. Hope you're doing good, though. It's good to see you. Just missing you, I think. I think you got the... I think you're taking over for me. Yeah, no problem. Glad to help. Anything to help us out. We all need it. Squeeze that little bit of ped. But yeah, I'm going to get some sleep. Come back tomorrow. Finish out some more boxes. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. It's always cool having people hang out. See you, Dex. I don't mean to run on you. Or, not Dex, Deuce. Got you guys confused. Alright, have a good night, guys. Or morning, or day. Probably day for you, huh? Don't work too hard. Probably see you a little bit before you get off of work. Alright. I'll be dreaming of our Hoff on our next team hunt.